I wish I could tie you up in my shoes, make you feel I'm pretty too. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I thought today we would do something a little bit different and a little bit more analytical than we are used to. I haven't really done a year in review. I don't think ever actually, and I feel like it would be such a good idea to do it because then I can compare and contrast with previous years and see how I've progressed, not just with my reading but with my channel too. So one thing I will be doing in this video is going through my reading year of 2024 in total and like what I read and the averages and the pages and all this, that and the other, and then I will also go through my channel statistics as well, so we can also see the progress of my channel, which I do wish that I saw more booktubers do because I love looking at things like this. It's so fun. And I'm just like a big numbers kind of statistics kind of guy. I used to love following American television shows and the TV ratings that they would get. Literally, as Desperate Housewives was airing, I would check the Nielsen ratings the next day to see how that episode did, and I would love doing that. And so I kind of like treat my channel the same way. I've probably said this a million times before, but I love pretending that my channel is a TV show. So first things first, let's do a few disclaimers. This video isn't me flexing about how much I've read or anything like that, or even like how well my channel did too. Reading and booktube is such a personal journey on both fronts, and I am not interested in competition or comparing to other people. I genuinely don't think reading is a race. I don't think booktube is a race either. We are all in our little corners on the internet and we all have our spaces, and it's an amazing thing. I know it's easier said than done, like not comparing yourself to other people. I still do it all the time, but genuinely this is what I do for a living, which I am so blessed and fortunate to do. So the amount of time and effort I put into booktube, as well as the amount that I've read, is all because I do this full time. So also take that into account. I'm very eternally grateful and lucky that I get to do this, at least for the time being. As soon as I do start to see a downward trajectory, then I will, you know, look into other things that I can do. But at the minute, I'm just existing. I'm just loving what I'm doing. I'm loving the fact that I do get to read as much as I want to and film as much as I want to. So please don't feel bad. Please don't compare yourself to what I do. That is not my intention with this video of showing you how much I've read in like my booktube stuff. As I said, personal journeys and all that, and I just want a little bit of a benchmark and to just like discuss and talk about the year in general. So the year was 2024 and it was a really good year compared to 2023, especially in terms of reading. So I am going to break this video into like kind of two parts. I'm going to do my reading and booktube year in review, and then I will go month by month so that you can see what I was reading in that month, what I was filming that month, and hopefully that's an easy way of following this video because I do have a lot of graphics and they are mainly like text and images. I haven't really done any graphs, I'm so sorry, but I do just want to talk about it all. So hopefully you find that interesting. If you do, please do give this video a like if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into the reading year in review first then. So my reading year in review, I did read 371 books, but I will say after making all the graphics and I'd finished everything, I realized I forgot to include two books. I forgot to include Butter and The Beetle because I read those while I was away and I didn't update my spreadsheet while I was away and I totally forgot. So I'm missing two books from this. So I did read 373 books. I did DNF 13 books. So if we take that off the 373, then that's 360 books that I read this year if you don't want to count DNFs. I only count them if I genuinely believe like I finished the book, like I'm never going to go back to it, I'm totally DNFing it, like that's the end of it, then I will still count it. And I do show you later on when I go month by month where I DNF'd a book, and usually I DNF around about the 200 page mark. So I do feel like I got such a good chunk of that book read, so I don't feel bad about including it in like these statistics. But I don't only include pages I read. So if I only read 200 pages of that book, then that's why I include in the spreadsheet. Even if the book is like 500 pages, I will only put 200. So yeah, 371 books read. Total pages read is 97,649. I will show you the yearly comparison in a minute because both the books read and the pages read is my most ever. So as you can see with the monthly stats as well, my best month was January. I read 57 books and I read 13,692 pages. And again, I will show you when we go month by month what I was reading that month to get it to that number. February, it was 36 books, then 27 in March, 28 in April, 44 in May. I definitely ballooned in May as well. June crashed down to 21 and July I only did 20. That was around about the time I was moving house, so I feel like that was a given. August and September, 29 and 26, not quite the same level as the very start of the year. Shit. that cat is back and now my cat's going to go crazy. The show must go on. Let's continue. 37 books were read in October, which is pretty decent, and there is like a good reason why that kind of inflated. November 17 and December 29. So with November, with that being my worst month, I was traveling at the very start of November, so I really didn't get a whole lot read at that time. In terms of like the pages, obviously January is still my highest. I don't want to go month by month with how many I read. But February was still quite high, May was quite high, and then it kind of settled between like 6,000 to 8,000 pages for the rest of the year, which makes a whole lot of sense because in May, I kind of stopped doing manga videos on my channel. I split my channel into my books channel and my manga channel. So you will see, especially with like January, February, and April, and even May, I did read quite a lot of manga in those ones, so that definitely boosted those numbers. In terms of averages, January we started strong with a 4 out of 5 average in January. A shame that the rest of the year just didn't really live up to January. We started strong and kind of tapered off. 3.2 average in February, 3.6 average in March, 3.5 average in April. So you know, it's very around that area. It is very consistent in a way. So like 3.7 in May, that was pretty decent. 3.1 in June, we kind of dropped. 3.6 in July, we went up again. And then August, September, October, the average just like went down like dramatically. And there's a reason for that. There is a genuine reason for that. And if you know what I was like doing, like the kind of project I was working on at that time, you will know why that average was pretty low-ish for each of those months. But again, I will talk about that when we get to those months. So yeah, 3.0 average in August, 2.8 average in September, and a 2.2 average in October. It's crazy because January is one of my least favorite months, just in general, and October is one of my favorite months. However, in terms of reading, that's flipped. January was my best reading month, and then October was one of my worst in terms of average. 2.7 for November, we do go up a little bit more, and then we ended the year with a 3.5. So not bad. It was my best reading month since July. Now for book statistics, I don't really have a whole lot of data. So I use Allie from With Allie, her spreadsheets, and I will link her Etsy down below. And I go for the standard basic spreadsheet possible because I get overwhelmed trying to fill it in, and then I give up and I just abandon the spreadsheet. So these are like the only statistics that I was keeping track of in 2024. So my top 5 genres, with 29.6, horror was my favorite genre and like my most read genre. Fantasy was second with 27%, dystopian 12.9%, romance number 4 with 9.4%, and then mystery 5.3% at number 5. So those were my top 5 genres, and I don't really have too much to say about that. I do feel like that reflects my general taste of what I love to read. I do love reading horror. I love reading fantasy. One thing as well is that I don't really have a lot of thriller. I don't have a lot of thriller. I feel like thriller was kind of like 6th or 7th, but thriller I would love to work more on in 2025, even though 2 thrillers I read in 2024 were 2 of my least favorite books ever. So with thriller, I'm a lot more wary about getting into, but I really do want to read more of. For book types, I read 66% novels, 20.6% manga. So you probably would have thought, oh, you know, like Gavin reads a lot of manga and he read 371 books or 373 books. We're just going to go with 371. So with Butter and The Beetle, I was on vacation, but we'll just say 371 because that's what all of my graphics have. But you were probably thinking, okay, 371 books, most of that's Charlie manga. Only 20.6% of it is manga. So yeah. But however, I will say I did read a lot of nostalgic books in 2024. So that is also another reason why I read a lot of books, is because I have, you know, 150 page Fear Street books, for instance, that I'm reading. So it really does help because I could probably do like 5 of those in one day. I also read 3.2% novellas and only 0.3% webtoons. I didn't read any graphic novels in 2024. The webtoon was that Lore Olympus Volume 1, which I didn't really like. So I didn't really continue. But in terms of graphic novels, I would like to try and get at least a couple read this year. I do have some that I have my eye on and I would love to read. It just wasn't the year of graphic novels, apparently. And I do think manga has come down. I don't have a year-by-year comparison in terms of that, like the genres and the book types that I'm reading. But I do think I read a whole lot more manga in 2023. In 2024, I definitely cut back on that. And split my channel into books and manga, I think has definitely kind of help with that. In terms of formats, physical is still my number 1 babe with 69.8%, but I also do love to do a mixture. So 20.6% of my reads in 2024 was doing the audiobook and reading physically at the same time. That is my preferred method of reading, but I don't have the audiobook for everything that I own. So a lot of the times I do have to read just physically, and sometimes that's still great. So I do prefer reading physically over everything else. Only 6.7% of the books that I read in 2024 were just audiobooks. and then A-books 2.9%. So I haven't really done a whole lot of A-books, but I would love to try and get that number up a little bit, maybe that percentage up a little bit more. I do have my Kindle right there. One of the things with it is that it's usually out of sight, out of mind. But now that I have my Kindle next to my computer, I feel like that's going to help with me wanting to just be like, oh, I'm just going to pick up my Kindle, see what I've got on there, rather than just ignoring it the entire year. In terms of age groups, my adult and young adult reading was kind of neck and neck a little bit. So 52.6% adult books, 43.6% young adult books. That is mainly because, one, I was a young adult book prize judge this year, so I did read a lot of young adult for that, but also the Fear Street books that I read also counted towards young adult books. So that definitely added more YA books to my overall list than it usually would have any other year. And then middle grade, 3.8%. I am so intrigued to see what that is year by year. I actually don't have the numbers up right now, but I do feel like that is so different to what it would have been like, say, in 2020 or 2021. That middle grade would have been number one with like 60-70%, I'm sure, of that year. And now it's only 3.8%. It has definitely fallen off. Just not really as much of a middle grade reader as I used to be. And then my shortest book read was Are You There, God? I Thought I Heard Cody Masturbating, but it was just Grandma Stirring a Pot of Shells and Cheese by Whit Slope with 19 pages. We'll talk about that when we get to the February videos. And then my longest book read is The Stand by Stephen King with 1,211 pages. So I'm very proud of that achievement. I got The Stand read, which actually was a reread. I actually originally read that in 2020. However, it was 2020. So a lot of it didn't retain in my head. Speaking of previous years, I do have my reading stats for each year, at least ever since joining BookTube in 2019. So 2019, first year I joined BookTube, 124 pages read, which goes up to 210 in 2020, 220 in 2021, 361 in 2022. So we had a bit of a boom there. And then 2023, 363, and then 2024, 371, or just 360 if you take off the DNFs and you include the two that I forgot to include. So 360 seems to be my sweet spot with the books that I'm reading in a year. But I will still say, I did read a good chunk of those books I DNF'd, so I don't feel bad including them at all. So that's why I'm saying both of them, 373, including the DNFs, 360 without the DNFs, because there might be somebody being like, oh, you shouldn't do that, that's cheating. Cheating for what? Again, this isn't a race. My personal reading journey has nothing to do with you. Anyway, total pages read 44,000 in 2019, 67,000 in 2020, 54,000 in 2021. So it actually went down. But one of the reasons why that is because in 2020, I was reading bigger books. In 2021, I read all the Goosebumps books and they're quite short. So that is one of the reasons. In 2022 and 2023, the pages, again, are very similar. 81,000 in 2022 and then 82,000 in 2023. And then 2024, 97,649. My most pages read in a single year, which is awesome. However, averages are definitely varied. 2019 was 3.77, 2020 was 3.80, which was my best reading year apparently in terms of average rating. 2021, 3.29, 2022, 3.52, 2023, 3.56, and then 2024 was the 3.24 average, which is my lowest average year. But again, a 3.2 out of 5, in my opinion, is not really that bad. And if I got rid of all the books that I was reading for blog projects, like Fear Street, Goosebumps, Animorphs, or whatever, Vampire Diaries, I feel like all of my averages would at least be a 4. That's a theory. A game theory. So I will be going more in depth with my reading when I go month by month in a second. So let's look at the channel year in review then. So my monthly channel statistics in the year of 2024 is really not that bad. There was a lot of consistency throughout the year, which honestly is very reassuring for me because this is my full-time job. This is one of the reasons why I focus and hyper-focus on things to do with my channel and like the statistics like that is because yeah, as soon as I notice a downward trajectory, as soon as I start to see things dipping, that's when I need to dip. That's when I need to start looking for jobs. So you know what I mean? Like this is why I'm like so intense with it all, but also because I find it so fun. So in 2024, I did get 3.2 million views, which is awesome. And I also got 16,886 new subscribers. And I will do a year by year comparison in a second as well. But yeah, just to explain as well. So say in January, I got 1,318 new subscribers. And if you look throughout the entire year, I did manage to to stay over 1,000 new subscribers every month, which is great. I've managed to keep that up since I uploaded Heartstopper in 2022. So every single month since then, I've had at least 1,000 new subscribers, which I'm so thankful for. But I'm now like, okay, one of these months I need to go under that. Like one of these months I will go under that. There is no way I'm keeping that momentum. But I just feel like it's such a cool streak to have. It's been almost like 3 years now where I've had like at least 1,000 new subscribers every month, which I do feel so proud of. But I am like anticipating that month when it doesn't hit 1,000. You know what I mean? And then views, I got 252,000 views in January. And as you can kind of see throughout the year too, a lot of my I do usually get around about 250,000 views a month. But when you look underneath that with the average, so that average means new videos I'm uploading that month. So 21,480 views is what my new videos were kind of getting on average in that month, but new videos only. So the views, like the 252,000, is from like my channel as a whole. Like that's just how many views all my videos got in that month. But the average, because I do like to keep a little bit of a list of everything I upload every month, I do only do the average of what I've uploaded in that month. But an average of like 21,000 for new videos in a month is pretty awesome. And then the watch time is something that YouTube really focuses on, and it really does help your channel. I think out of all the statistics, those are the most important ones. So in January, the watch time is 72,100 hours was being watched on my channel in that month. February is usually one of my toughest months. For some reason, like views just aren't really all that amazing in that month. In 214,000, I think is one of the lowest viewed months of the year. Watch time is down, but my average is up because I uploaded the Princess Diaries vlog in that month, and that one's done really well. So the average of that, 26,000 in that month for new videos, that's because of the Princess Diaries. In March, April, and May, my average each month was like going down. So I was starting to get a little bit concerned because I was starting to gear up to try and move house. So I was like, okay, my average is kind of going down. I'm probably going to end up struggling, maybe, if this average continues to go down for like new videos I upload. However, views in March, 272,000, that was when the Princess Diaries vlog was like really taken off. But the average for the Princess Diaries would only include in February because I uploaded in February. It's like this whole system in my mind that's like probably confusing it, or trying to explain it's just so hard. June was when I knew that I was moving, so I could only upload about 5 videos in June, but those videos, because I was doing like a massive unhaul before moving, packing up my home library before moving, those kinds of videos do really well. So June was actually a really good month for me, even though I uploaded probably the least amount of videos the entire year. Even the 96.4 thousand watch time in June is pretty good considering I barely uploaded. July though, July was when I'd actually moved and I uploaded my moving vlog. 329,000 views in July, which is my most viewed month of the year, which is awesome. And also 33,680 average for new videos uploaded that month too. And 138,000 watch time minutes. It's just absolutely blows my mind. That's like the most I've ever had. And what's so awesome as well is that even after July, so July through December, all of my watch time hours is over 100,000 each month, which is the best news. Like that's definitely the best part of it. Oh, it's still over 300,000 views, but the average was going down month by month. September and October is when I do my vlogs of Halloween, and I'm not gonna lie, my vlogs of Halloween, they're the most fun, but they never really do all that well. Yeah, October I got 1,039 new subscribers. That's the least of any kind of month. But the way I look at it is that the vlogs of Halloween is more for like returning viewers, like my already existing subscribers, because it's just something that I think is fun for us, whereas it doesn't really get new people watching or anything. And I also didn't upload as much too, but still really good with like over 20,000 average views per month. November I was worried about because I was traveling and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to like pre-record and try and upload, but it still worked out pretty well. I got way more subs in November than I did in October. And I think part of that with November and December is because I start a new series, kind of uploading like more vlogs and more accessible things that I think people just generally prefer and like. And yeah, December just absolutely ballooned in terms of views. We had 325,000 views in December and then over 137,000 watch time hours, which does not beat July, but it got pretty close. So if we look at that year by year, since I started BookTube in 2019, the new subscribers I've been getting every year was definitely getting more and more up until 2023. And then 2024, I actually didn't get as many as I did the past 2 years. I think there's a couple of reasons for that, because in 2022 and 2023, I was uploading a lot of One Piece videos, and I do think I got a lot of subscribers from One Piece. I also think I didn't really have like a truly viral moment in 2024. So in 2021, I had Goosebumps, which was totally brand new to me. 2022, I had Heartstopper, which definitely helped, as well as some other videos I was uploading. But then 2023, I had The Vampire Diaries did so well. My One Piece videos were doing so well. I had a library tour video that did really, really well. So I definitely had some viral kind of videos that helped those years. But if you compare the views, so 369,000 in 2019, 463,000 in 2020, 1.1 million in 2021, 2.5 million in 2022. And then if you look at 2023 and 2024, the average monthly views and the total views are pretty similar. So we have 3.3 million in 2023 and then 3.2 million in 2024. So there isn't really that much of a difference. And even the average monthly views, which is like how many views I get in that month on my channel as a whole, my average monthly views is 276,000 in 2023 and then 267,000 in 2024. So there isn't really that much of a difference, honestly. So I'm still really happy with that. So my top 10 videos before I go into like the top 50, my top 10 videos, my number one video of 2024 was a video uploaded in 2021. So this is one of the reasons why I think also 2024 didn't really get me a whole lot of new subscribers, because it's an older video that is my most watched video of the year, which is the first time this has ever happened. So I'm like, okay, so everything I uploaded in 2024 wasn't good enough. Obviously it is, but that was just my brain. So yeah, got almost 100,000 views in 2024. That video, man. This is why I do love doing like evergreen kind of videos, and one of the reasons why I do like to follow statistics sometimes is sometimes you'll upload a video that doesn't really do that well when you first upload it. Like my Goosebumps video only got like 3,000 views when I first uploaded it, and then it just kept just getting more and more over the years, and now it has over 300,000 views. So definitely don't feel discouraged if you upload a video and it doesn't like do amazing straight away. There is the potential of it to do amazing later down the line. Number 2 is my Princess Diaries vlog, which I uploaded in 2024. So I was kind of hoping that would be number 1, but unfortunately it wasn't. My movie vlog was number 3, which I was surprised at, because I was like, okay, why would a moving vlog on a booktube channel do really well? Obviously we're all nosy, and I'm the same way. I love watching moving content, so I guess it just like worked hand in hand. Building my home library is number 4. My Shire House vlog is number 5. I also wish that was number 1, because that was the video I was the most proud of in 2024. One of the videos I'm the most proud of in general of all time. Like, I love that video. I'm so proud of it. And there are so many booktubers who will get those numbers in one day. And again, I'm trying not to compare myself. I'm like, damn, you know, like number 5, okay. Obviously, I'm still like really lucky and blessed to even get like 48,000 views on it. Like, that's amazing. And number 6 is the Wizard of Oz vlog that I uploaded in 2023. It found new life this year because of the Wicked movie. And if you look at number 9, my Wicked vlog was up there. But because the Wizard of Oz was uploaded a year before Wicked, it just got more views because it was getting views all year long. But I do find that interesting that it managed to get number 6. So again, like my Wizard of Oz vlog, it didn't really do all that well when I first uploaded it either last year or even in 2023, but this year it just like it took off, because you just never know when something might become quite popular again. Number 7 was my book haul before moving. So as you can see, like I got quite a few like moving vlogs and moving videos that got my top 10. A lot of people do love stuff like that. Number 8 was my first episode of Gavin Reads All the King, 46,000 views, which is awesome. And then number 10 was the home library tour that I uploaded in 2023. So I do have a good few videos that I uploaded in years past that got in my top 10. But also if we look in, this is way too intense, I'm sorry. If we look at my top 50 videos of 2024, I've put in the year that I uploaded it in brackets next to it, because you will see a lot of videos that I uploaded in the past. And it's always pretty interesting to see those videos. Anything of note of like the top 50, I do have a lot of just general vlogs. Well, I mean, I say general. Vlogs I wouldn't have done in years past because I was too focused on reading all of this in one video, reading all of that in one video. But doing things like swapping screen time for reading time, or reading books you think I'll give 5 stars, they did really well, and I didn't think they would, because they are just more like general kind of reading vlogs where anything could happen in them. They're not as rigid as like the vlog projects and stuff. In Boss or Toss, episode 1 and 2 did really well. They are at number 15 and 17. Gavin Reads All the King was still my most popular like series in 2024, even though episodes 2 and 3 definitely dropped off. Episode 1, you know, it had Carrie, The Shining. Those are really popular Stephen King books, so I imagine that series is going to be like up and down, but that's fine. If we look at vlogs of Halloween, those videos don't ever really do all that well for me. They do over time, like my Haunted Castle vlog from 2022. That one's done really well over time. But in 2024, number 20 was my Web's Most Horrifying Books, which is the highest viewed vlogs of Halloween video. And that only got number 20. So I do spend more time and more effort on these videos because I love doing them so much. So seeing them like this low down isn't really that surprising. I mean, it's not as ideal because I do love doing them. Like the Camping Alone in the Woods, number 24. I love that video. The Haunted Nunnery barely made the top 30. The Haunted Nunnery is at number 28, which is still great. Like, I'm not complaining. I'm not saying like these are terrible numbers or anything, but I spent so much money for that nunnery. It was actually probably my most expensive video of 2024, and it's at number 28. Which is, again, fine, like, I'm not complaining. I've got some Summerween videos. I think all of my Summerween vlogs made my top 50. My Library Challenge series, episode 2 made it to number 31, which is awesome. Especially since it's episode 2. It wasn't even episode 1 or episode 3. It was number 2, the second episode, which I also think all of the videos I was uploading over the summer did really well because that was around about my move. And I think a lot of people were very interested in like the new house, what I'm doing here and stuff like that. So I feel like any kind of vlog I uploaded in that time just kind of did really well because of that. There was kind of like a moving glow around the content I was uploading at that time. So I think episode 2 definitely benefited from that. My Hot Stopper season 3 reaction is pretty low. And over the years, my Hot Stopper reactions haven't really been doing as well as the first one. Obviously, I owe so much to the very first Hot Stopper reaction I did in 2022. It's still my most popular video right now, although I have a feeling Goosebumps is going to overtake it this year. But yeah, my season 2 reaction didn't do as well as the first reaction, and then my season 3 reaction definitely didn't do as well as the first two. So I'll still react to season 4 when that comes out, but they're kind of not really doing very much for me anymore. What else is of note? My complete series reading vlogs still do really well. So we've got Crescent City at number 11. It just missed the top 10 because of the library tour. Obviously, The Princess Diaries, Wizard of Oz from last year or the year before, Vampire Diaries, my Berserk vlog, Goosebumps Series 2000 vlog from 2022, my Fear Street vlog, which is the one that I also spent quite a lot of money on and the most time on. Took 2 years and it took 3 months of actual reading to do. So that took a while. The Lion Game vlog, that's up there. So the complete series reading vlogs, even though they take the most time, they are still quite popular and they are the ones that get views over time as well. But yeah, I don't really think there's too much else to say about my top 50 videos. I just find it fascinating. Oh my god, this video is already going to be so long. I'm so sorry. But month by month. So what I read in January, you can say that the reason why I read so much in January is because of Berserk. I read 42 volumes of it. And you know, some of the standouts from this, oh my god, I just saw the bloody Jaws-esque cover there. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Some standouts from this month was definitely The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and especially since that was the month I visited the Shire House. Just what an incredible month for me. Leech was an interesting one. I liked it, but also it didn't really make my best books of the year, whereas something like The Crooked House did. I also started my Princess Diaries project in January, but I only read the first book, so only the first book is counted right now. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty decent reader month. And then the videos that I uploaded in January, it's a bit of a mixed bag. Honestly, I am again so proud of the Shire House video. Probably the only video in January that I fully love the most, although I do think my Winterween and my Slice of Life vlog were very fun also. Berserk was a lot of work. So kind of a bit of a okay start to the year, I guess. What I read in February, I did binge the Crescent City series. I read some manga. I read all of Spy Family. I read all of the rest of the Princess Diaries. So that was definitely very interesting. And I also did some horror novellas. So if you look at the videos I uploaded that month too, it is again a very mixed bag. I do have the Silent Library videos that I was doing, and I'm going to do another one this month. But the first one of that, you know, I had the very short books that I read in January but uploaded in February. But again, like not really too much more to say about this. Also during this time I was reading books from the library. I was doing my library challenge, checking out a book from the library. In the Kind Worth Saving was my very first one, which I was supposed to read in January but I didn't read until February. So yeah, February is still like a bit of a mixed month too. Oh my gosh. Not really too many standouts. Obviously I love Spy Family. Spy Family was so good. Cherry Magic, oh, chef's kiss, loved it. My content in February was again all over the place. I think this probably hinders my channel sometimes. I upload random shit. What I read in March was an improvement because I was kind of focusing a little bit more on Slice of Life vlogs. I was also reading some of Jan's worst books, so we got my first 2 DNFs of the year, Book Lovers and Magnolia Parks. And in the brackets is like the page I got up to. So 236 pages of Book Lovers and then 240 of Magnolia Parks. It's pretty much all the book, let's be honest. It's most of the book. So I was definitely going to include these as books read still. I read 12 volumes of Dragon Ball. Yeah, a lot of these are just tied to vlogs. Like The Wheel of Time, 1 and 14. I did my first and last. So yeah, looking at the content that I made, the Spy Family vlog I put out in March, even though I read the books in February. Book haul, Slice of Life, the first and last. Reading the first chapter of 21 different books. I think it was 21. Obviously, I wasn't really like reading the full thing for it, so I didn't include any of those books. But that definitely helped with content I needed to upload that didn't involve reading entire books. Same with the series ordered video. Those were definitely easier things I could film. The One Piece video was my very final One Piece video on my channel. I'm going to be uploading One Piece videos on my manga channel, which will be linked down below. But yeah, I didn't know at this time that I would be splitting the channel and doing books versus manga kind of thing. And then obviously the reading Jan's worst books to see if I could find some favorite books. And you know what, I did love a couple of the books that Jan put in that video, but that was a really fun video to film and I just loved it. Like say, yeah, the slice of life vlog, reading anticipated releases and doing the video with Jan. Those are two of my favorite videos of the year because I could just exist. I could just like read things and just not be pressured by like a vlog project or anything. So definitely loved more of the content in March. Obviously the first and last Wheel of Time video was a bad idea, but I kind of love doing bad ideas sometimes. And I actually enjoyed the Wheel of Time books, so it got a lot of hate, but that's fine. I kind of know that from the kind of concept of the video. Reading the first and last book, you silly bitch. April, I read quite a lot and there is still some manga in there, but not as much as previous months. I finished off the Dragon Ball series. I went to visit Jade and I ended up reading one of my favorite books of the year, The Will of the Many. So that being in April is amazing. I do have a few Titanic books in here. I also have some backlist books here, which is pretty interesting, which obviously ties to a video that I uploaded in April. What else can I talk about? I have one of my least favorite books of the year there with Murder Road. Obviously, I read that for the book troop for Gabby. And look, even though it is one of my worst books, I'm still so glad I read it because it was a great discussion with Gabby and Katie when we did the live show for it. And I absolutely love doing book clubs like that. I really, really do. Even though I complain like, oh, you know, Gabby's making me read my worst books of the year, I love it. I eat it up. So Gabby, thank you, but also fuck you. And then yeah, I do have some library books in there too for my library challenge. And then I ended the month with Robin Hood because I did go to Sherwood Forest, but you won't see those videos until May. So that month I did try and do a quarterly wrap up. That was the first and only one I did in 2024. I managed to upload my Dragon Ball video while I was away visiting Jade, which we saw the book shopping video, and that was a lot of fun. I really wanted to do the Titanic video. It was the anniversary of the sinking, and I've been wanting to do a reading vlog of reading Titanic books for years and years and years, so I finally managed to get to do that in 2024. I also celebrated my 5-year booktube anniversary, so I did have my 5-year booktube anniversary video uploaded that month, and that's why I read things like Pet, Loveless, Lonely Castle in the Mirror, Ouroraxbeam in the Sea, and Yellowface, because they were backlist books from my TBR that were popular on booktube in those years. And then ended with a slice of life vlog. I'm so glad I started doing slice of life vlogs, really. It did help me stay grounded and enjoy books and enjoy reading and not have those big vlog projects, which I still love doing. Don't get me wrong, I still love doing, but it's nice to break that up with slice of life. And also, fun fact, that slice of life vlog is the very first time I started to seriously look into moving house. And I believe I mentioned that at the very end of the vlog too. So that was actually the very beginning of my moving saga. It was like, okay, it's definitely gonna happen. I'm actively looking. And then, yeah, I ended up inquiring about this place. While I was away in Sherwood Forest was when I got the date to go look at the place. And it kind of dictated the rest of the year, honestly. So we see the foundations of it in that vlog. What I read in May, a lot of it was Attack on Titan. And I did have a great time, but I think while I was doing Attack on Titan and I was making that video, that was when I was like, okay, I actually do really think I want to split the channel. I was so against it for so long and I wanted everything to be in one place, but I was reading Attack on Titan and making the video and I was loving it, don't get me wrong, but I kind of felt like I wanted the spaces to be a little bit more separate. DNF, The Last Murder at the End of the World, but I got pretty far in. Honestly, the rest of the books are a little bit unspectacular. I continued to borrow books from the library with the Ghost Woods, did another Agatha Christie there. During this time, I was filming my swap and screen time for reading time, which is a vlog you won't see until June, so I really didn't do a whole lot in May, which kind of explains why the average of the videos I was uploading in May was down compared to the previous months. It just wasn't really a great month in terms of what I was reading really and what I was uploading. But again, because I split my channel that month, that was a way of me feeling less of having an identity crisis and feeling like I was being pulled in different directions. This was definitely when things came to a head. I was like, okay, I need to make a change. I definitely need to change things up. So this is what's gonna happen. And then yeah, at the very end of the month is when I found out that I was definitely gonna be moving. May was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was also the month of my birthday. So how dare you? I'm definitely gonna try and have a better May this time around. In terms of content, I premiered my library challenge video. I was going to do a year-long video and keep it all in one video, but I did a poll asking, do you think it should be split into 3 episodes or just 1? And the poll was overwhelmingly split into 3. So I uploaded the first episode while I was away in Sherwood Forest. I filmed 3 videos while I was in Sherwood Forest: a read with me, reading Robin Hood, and then I also did like a general cabin video, because I thought, look, I'm going all this way. I don't think the Robin Hood video will do that well. The read with me will definitely not do well. And so I kind of wanted to make the most of my time there and do a general video, which I'm so glad I did, because that general cabin video did so much better than the other 2 videos. In fact, the read with me video and the Robin Hood video are 2 of my worst performing videos of the year, which is fine, honestly. Like, they're very hyper specific, and read with me's are just kind of there in the background, really. Did a manga collection, the book haul, Rory Gilmore challenge, Slice of Life, and TBR. What I read in June? Okay, so I was continuing to do my screen time and reading time video. I was also reading the Lion Game books, which was a really fun time. I really enjoyed that. But I was also doing the reading list for the Young Adult Book Prize that I was a judge for. So I couldn't say anything about those books. Like, I was vlogging, I was doing my moving vlog, I was filming that the entire month, and I couldn't say anything about the books. I could tell you what they were about, but I couldn't tell you what I thought of them because I wasn't allowed. So it was definitely dominated by a lot of those young adult books. I didn't have to open water, not because it was bad, but because it was second person. And I just can't do second person, I'm sorry. But a pretty interesting reading month nonetheless. I think I made the most of it, considering it was a very hectic month. Packing everything up, trying to move, oh my god. And the stresses as well. I also filmed my Haunted Nunnery video during this month also. So I have Sisters of the Crimson Vine there. So that's why that's there, in case you're wondering. But that was all during the move. I was stressed. They kept pushing the date back, but I couldn't do any later because I need to be out at that house by a certain date. It was a stressful month, and I still somehow managed. And yeah, this is a case of quality over quantity. So yeah, I only uploaded 5 videos. In June, had quite a good year in terms of the average that those videos were getting and the total amount of views as well in general. So the Spouting Screen Time for Reading Time, I love that vlog. I thought it was really good. The book on haul, always popular. Lion Game video, I mean, the Lion Game video didn't do as well as the Pretty Little Liars video, but I actually had a fun time reading it. It was really good. And again, during all of that chaos of moving, not to toot my own horn, packing up my home library video where I use like 3 or 4 copyrighted songs, but I do have the licenses for, don't worry about that. But it was a fun time. The soundtrack of that video was banging. And then my final video uploaded in my old place was my mid-year book freakout tag. You know, not much to say about that. July. Okay, July was when Summerween happened, so I have some Summerween reads in there. I also have some like really great books there that have ended up being some of my favorite books of the year. And then we also have some of the worst. So there we say middle of the night. Ugh. So at this time as well, I was recording clips for Gabby for her to upload on her channel. And so I was kind of filming that as well. A lot of these books were books that you thought I was going to give 5 stars. So from The Familiar to Battle Royale. But everything pretty much before that was things I was reading for Summerween. And those were the very first books that I read in this house. And it was so good. Like, I love the Summerween vlogs so much because it's me getting settled in this house for the first time. And I was reading pretty good books. Like Boys in the Valley was actually one of my favorite books of the year too. Oh, and I did the blind date with the books. So The Boatman's Daughter and Exquisite Corpse. Those were both blind dates with books. The Strange was one of the library challenge things that I needed to do. So I was like filming episode 2 at the time. And then I also started my Stephen King project at the end of July so that I could get the video out in August. So I read the first 4 that I needed to for that one. Also during this was when the neighbor drama was like kind of happening. So I feel again that I should toot my own horn that I was still knocking these out while I was having all of that happening next door, just saying. So in terms of the content, the Slice of Life moving vlog, that one did so well, and it was such a surprise. And I do want to take this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you so much for watching my videos this year. It made such a difference, and I appreciate it so much. It took so much of the stress off my shoulders when I was seeing my average go down from March, April, May, and I was like, oh, shit, like I need to move and I don't really have the time, but you guys delivered. So thank you so much. My Summerween vlogs, I'm really proud of. I love doing the Summerween vlogs, the Building a Whole Library video, and then the reading books I think I'm going to give 5 stars. So again, I didn't upload that many videos, but to be fair, 5 of them were vlogs. And the Slice of Life moving vlog, I filmed throughout June. I think from June 3rd till July 1st or 2nd. Because I moved in on July 1st. I think I filmed my last clip July 2nd. So that was like a month of filming that one. But it was great. It was a fun time. And then obviously I was like filming for Gabby and stuff like that. So it was a great time. It was a great time. July was like I feel revitalized. I can't wait to tackle my channel again and like upload great videos, being in this new house now I don't have to worry about anything. Okay, August, some of these book placements are wrong because I didn't actually put when I read the books I had to read for my 100 best books of the 21st century video. A couple of them I read in July, but I hadn't quite updated my spreadsheet, so I couldn't remember the exact dates. So a little bit of that is maybe not as accurate as I thought. But as we can see here, I did do those books that I wanted to read for that video. I also read the very first 17 books of Fear Street in August, and this is when my average rating for each month goes dramatically down, because those books, I mean, some of them are very entertaining, but in an objective sense, they weren't really like technically the best. They haven't aged the best either. So that definitely put a spanner in the works. I was still doing the BookTube Besties kind of collaboration with Somebody Can Build a Nest In, and filming clips for Katie for the A Certain Hunger video as well. That came out in September. I also started the Raven Boys, so I was starting to film my Raven Cycle vlog that I don't put out until November. And so August was, again, interesting. I did try Shogun and then I DNF'd it. That was supposed to be a buddy read with Jade and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. In terms of videos I uploaded, August was pretty solid. I uploaded the first episode of Gabby Reads All the King. I did the middle of the night vlog for Gabby, Library Challenge episode 2, which, boom, was my most popular Library Challenge video. 100 Best Books of the 21st Century, I really want to do. The Somebody Can Build a Nest In vlog I did with Katie and Gabby. The Unhaul, another Slice of Life vlog, where I go to Edinburgh. And then my fall TBR and Vlogs of Halloween announcement, which, again, like I always look forward to. I've already booked places for this year. In fact, I started booking places in December. I'm like on it. Like, it's my favorite time of year. I love it so much. And so I always get really excited by this point. So September, in terms of what I read, this is when I love reading all like the spooky books and like the horror and all of this. Like, it's my favorite time. Obviously the ratings don't really reflect it all that much. And I only read like 5 Fear Street books. I only got up to book 22 and there's 51 books in that series. So by this point I was like, shit, like I've got so many that I need to read in October, because I was supposed to read 17 Fear Street books in September and then 17 in October, and that would have got me to where I needed to be. But I did so badly. I just ended up getting so behind on the Fear Street that I started panic. I started panic at this point. But other than that, I was doing my other reads for my Vlogs of Halloween. Got some more Goosebumps books in there, which is always interesting. Continue the Raven Cycle series, as well as doing the second episode of Gavin Reads All the King. So reading The Stand, which was the biggest book of the year, also definitely didn't help with trying to read Fear Street. The Dead Zone is also pretty big as well, actually, I'm not gonna lie. So that was a pretty stacked reading month. And there are still some like standouts. Like, I was actually surprised by Psycho by Robert Bloch. I actually thought that was a really good book. I was underwhelmed by The Exorcist. I thought The Exorcist was a little bit too technical and not really scary in my opinion. So that was a bit disappointing. DNF'd All the Fiends of Hell. Didn't like it at all. Oh my god, Cows. Definitely one of the worst books I've ever read. Hated it, but it is extreme horror, so that's my bad. In terms of content, I did my cataloguing my home library video, which I'm pretty proud of. Haunted Nunnery video, which I filmed in June, so it took, what, 3 months for it to come out? But I was saving it for my Vlogs of Halloween premiere, so I was very excited that I could do that. The video that me and Gabby did for Katie is there as well, so that was uploaded on Katie's channel. That was so much fun to do as well. Did more Vlogs of Halloween, so the Reading the Web's Most Horrifying Books, which is my most popular Vlogs of Halloween video of 2024. Reading the classic horror movie books, Tales to Give You Goosebumps. Those were like very scheduled. I wanted to upload a new video every, was it Fridays or Saturdays? It was either Friday or Saturday. I was uploading a new Vlogs of Halloween. So that's those. Even though I did read the Stephen King books in September, that wasn't uploaded until October. So what I read in October, I predominantly read Fear Street. I had so much Fear Street to catch up on. I don't know how many books that is off the top of my head. Is that, what, like 29 books or something? 20? I don't know. That's a lot of Fear Street. So that's why my average for October is 2.2 out of 5. I read Blair Witch, Lost of the Skies, which was good, Hunted. I read those while I was camping. I finished the Raven Cycle series and I did a live show for Kayla for her members because it was for Kayla's read-along for it. And so I wrapped up the Raven Cycle vlog and I edited it all and everything, but I had it scheduled to go out at the start of November because at the very end of October, I started flying to Australia and then I had my Trova trip in Egypt. So I was, again, very stressed at this point because I wanted to get videos up while I was away. Because if I didn't upload anything at all, my AdSense, my statistics, it would just crumble. So I saved the Raven Cycle for November, so November. I didn't really do any reading to get out in November either. And so I did read Puzzle Heart actually, just briefly before I go on to the videos. Puzzle Heart is for my middle grade book club for Patreon, and Puzzle Heart was actually very good. But I do think at this point, like, middle grade is just, it isn't hitting. It isn't hitting the way it used to. Oh, I also love doing the Haunted of Hill House. I did that with Lexi for our patrons as well. We did a Gothic Tales and Cocktails book club for it, which was really fun. Really enjoyed the book. Didn't make my best books of the year, but I did really enjoy it. The gay undertones of that one, oh my god. So videos, Heartstopper reaction. I didn't have to read anything for that one, so that was good. Gary Meets All the King, camping. One of my favorite videos I've ever done. I loved it so much. Camping, reading horror in the woods. Like, what more do you want? The Fear Street vlog, which I had my heart set on for 2 years. I bought the books in August 2022. Finally uploaded the vlog in 2024. Took 3 months of reading, August, September, and October. I was reading as much as I could, and I was supposed to get the vlog out in 2023, but that year was a mess itself. So glad to have finally had that done. Like, I'm very, very proud of the end result. 24 hours of horror, that was a last minute thing. I wasn't supposed to do that. I was actually going to try and do a Gothic books kind of reading vlog, but I ended up changing that to doing like 24 hours of horror. It really helped actually, and it was actually a lot more fun in my opinion. Is that really all I read in October though? Like, damn. Anyway, moving on from that. So November, I did forget to include Butter and the Beetle because I was in Australia and Egypt when I read those, but I also included What the River Knows because that was my group book for my Trover trip to Egypt. But the reason why I remembered that was because I put on my spreadsheet before I left because I knew I was definitely reading it. So I had that on my spreadsheet. That's why I didn't forget that one. And so What the River Knows was good. Wasn't really my favorite, but the experience of doing a group book for it in person was so good. And I started my romantasy video that doesn't get out until December. I started that as soon as the Goodreads awards kind of were announced. Saw that one, read the first 4 books of Wicked. What a time that was. And also the movie Wicked came out this month, which just became my entire life. Also started in Boss or Toss, so there's like quite a few random books here. We have a random middle grade, webtoon, graphic novel, Game of Thrones novella, although it's not set in the Game of Thrones world, but it's by George R. R. Martin. A random thriller, a manga. You know, there's so much randomness here that it's like, okay, this is kind of a random month. More of my library challenge books I need to do, like Dancing the Charleston by Jacqueline Wilson, An Academy for Liars, which I read for the Literary Dead Book Club. Oh, and also Christmas Book Club was also checked out from the library. So yeah, a kind of random month in itself. I was doing a lot of vlog projects at this minute, a lot of end of year things I wanted to do, so that's kind of why it's a little bit all over the place. In terms of content, end of year TBR I pre-filmed to get out while I was away. Also same with the Raven Cycle. And then when I came back, I did my Melbourne, Australia vlog, Slice of Life vlog, and then my Egypt vlog right after. I was going to put them all in one video, but I decided to split them. And I'm so glad I did do that. It was definitely a lot less stressful and it got a little bit more of the videos out because I was really trying hard to play catch up at the minute. I was filming for videos that weren't coming out in December. So I was doing the library challenge at the time. I was doing the romantasy video at the time. So a lot of the things I was filming that month, I was like, okay, I can't get anything out in November. So that's when I decided to do in Boss or Toss, because I was going to do it a little bit earlier, but I was like, okay, I have too many things I want to do in upcoming months. I need something for now. So I did in Boss or Toss, and then obviously Wicked, which, you know, I wanted to get out around about the time the film came out. And I'm pretty proud of that vlog, even though books 2 through 4 were shit. Definitely the worst books I read in that month, as well as An Academy for Liars. But again, I love the fact that I did it for a book club, and I love doing book clubs so much. I love it so much. So going to December then. December, I definitely read a lot. I read a lot. So I had to film the romantasy video, so I read things like The Spell Shop, Zodiac Academy, which I DNF'd. So Bad, Phantasma, Quicksilver, which I loved. That was kind of a surprise, but, you know, a happy surprise. I really did love going through some of those romantasy books, and a lot of them I wouldn't really call romantasy all that much, but hey ho, who am I to say I'm not an expert? Continue doing my library challenge with Swift and Saddled and A Love Song for Ricky Wilde. Another in Boss or Toss because I genuinely had nothing else. I had nothing else I could film at the time. Because also I was doing Gavin Meets All the King episode 3. And it had like more lesser known books in that vlog, so it didn't really do all that well. But honestly, like, I'm not even doing the Gavin Meets All the King books to have like success with them. I just love the idea of reading everything from his catalogue, and I'm having fun doing so. So if a Gavin Meets All the King video only gets like 1,000 views, that's absolutely fine to me. I've still read the books and I still feel so accomplished that I did that. It is funny the fall off though, because like 46,000 for the very first episode to 11,000 in episode 3. That show would get cancelled if it was on network television, but I don't care about that. I just want to read all of King's books, and I'm having such a blast doing it. What else? Obviously we have end of year content, so like the best books of the year, the worst books of the year. Don't need to read anything new for those. Did a random week in my life video at the very start, which was separated from a slice of life video. I don't know how, but it just was. But I needed more chill things because the Goodreads video was intense. It was very, very intense. Also, I started going back to uploading videos on my manga channel, so I haven't really mentioned any videos I've uploaded on my manga channel, even though it was definitely in the back of my mind. I did do a couple, but I wasn't really like focused on it all that much. But in December, I did go back to it. I am actively uploading on my manga channel now, and so I read the first 6 volumes of Witch Hat Allie, and I did a vlog for it, so that's another video that I uploaded in December, which I've included here. The Slice of Life vlog, that was my very final video of 2024, which is very apt because the very final video of 2023 was my very first Slice of Life video, so I kind of am very glad about it. Anything else of note? I definitely DNF'd the most in December because I just couldn't put up with the bullshit. I DNF'd 1, 2, 3, 4 books. 4 books in December, which is the most I've DNF'd in 1 month, I think anyway. But Dungeon Crawler Call, I loved. Like out of all of those books, I think that was probably my favorite book out of all of those. I really enjoyed Cujo and Christine. They were very good too. Swift and Saddled was a surprise, let me tell you. I definitely focused less on manga after a certain point, if you might have noticed too. There wasn't a whole lot of manga after May. There was here and there, but not as much. So I do have a couple, and obviously Witch Hat Allie in December to build up my manga channel again. So I've been filming for a very long time. I don't know if like any of the statistics, anything I shared in this video was anything you wanted to know really. I apologize if none of this was interesting. This was just kind of fun for me to kind of go through, to look at like a year in review of my reading, of what I uploaded, my channel and everything. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave all your comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know if there was any statistics that you probably would have preferred to have known in this video. And then maybe next year I might try and follow along with a little bit more statistics, even though I don't want to get too overwhelmed with the spreadsheet. I could still try and see what a lot of people would love to see, and I can show you exactly what I was kind of focusing on, the things I was building up in the air that you are the most interested in. Is there anything to do with my channel that you're probably more interested in knowing about as well? Let me know down below. I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons for supporting my channel. If you'd like to join my Patreon, then the link is in the description box. But yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye.